Good morning, guys! Ang aga-aga talaga kasi 5 a.m. pa dito. So, today, yung vlog natin, hindi mo na siya travel vlog. I will go to the office. I usually work from home, but today, pupunta tayo sa office. And naisipan ko siyang i-vlog. Meron kasing mga ilan-ilang nagtatanong sa akin sa ibang social media platform ko, paano daw ako nakakuha ng job here sa Portugal as a Filipina? Or anong type ng job meron ako dito? Paano ako nag-apply? Yung mga ganon. So, naisipan ko na maybe, iba-vlog ko siya and maybe makahelp siya dun sa ibang Pinay na pupunta dito sa Portugal or gusto mag-work here sa Portugal. So, let's go! And nandito na tayo sa office, no? So, hindi ako nag-breakfast. Usually, kumukuha ako ng breakfast dito sa office. But, I have my own coffee. So, let's go and grab some sandwich. This is the outside of the office. So, buong campus to siya. Depende kung saan department ka because it's a really big office. And then, this building is our canteen. Tapos may cafeteria din siya. So, canteen is closed at this hour. Cafeteria tayo pupunta for breakfast. This is the cafeteria. So guys, let's have breakfast.
So guys, one of the exciting part of me going to the office is the lunchtime. We don't usually go out. We have our own canteens at campus and all the food there is so good. They're all Portuguese food. They have a lot of options for you. They have vegetarian option as well. If you don't eat meat, they have desserts. Portuguese desserts so good. And every time I go to the office, I always get this dish. They call it bitok, and then I have salad and desserts on the side. So also the view of the canteen outside, we have this pool. It's so relaxing. It has a garden, so nice.
So I didn't get the chance to finish the filming in the office kasi super packed yung day na yun. So I decided to continue it today. I'm currently working from home and it's Friday, it's the end of the day, so I have the time to do the video again. So Portugal, like any other countries, has its own regulations and job markets for foreigners seeking job here. As a Filipina, we would typically need a work permit or any other legal document that would allow us to work legally in Portugal. The ease of finding a job as a Filipina depends on several factors. This includes your qualifications, your skill set, language proficiency, especially in Portuguese and English, and also how demanding is your job qualifications in the Portuguese job market. So in recent years, Portugal has been attracting international workers and expats due to its improving economy, relatively low cost of living compared to other Western European countries, and pleasant living conditions. Certain sectors like IT, engineering, and hospitality, among others, may offer a lot of job opportunities for skilled professionals. However, it is also important to be aware that certain job availability can vary across industries and regions within Portugal. Of course, major cities like Porto or Lisbon may offer a lot more opportunities for you, but the market can be more competitive at the same time. It is a little bit expensive to live in. So as you know, Portugal is not an English-speaking country, but personally, I don't see this as an issue if you're looking for a job as an expat. So speaking Portuguese is not always, I'm not saying that it is not a requirement at all, but it is not always an absolute requirement for you to speak Portuguese when looking for a job here in Portugal. In my case, I work in the IT industry and I'm not required to speak Portuguese to do my job. I also have a couple of Filipina friends here who work in different sectors like call center, real estate, insurance company. They're all not required to speak speak Portuguese as well. But of course, having the basic Portuguese will always help enhance your overall experience while living and working in the country. Some sectors like healthcare, legal, working in the government, human resources, or jobs where you need to interact with local customers and suppliers, then fluency in Portuguese may be a regulatory requirement when applying due to the nature of the job itself. There are also companies in Portugal that offers language classes. So in my case, my employer offers free Portuguese class for non-Portuguese employees, and they also offers other classes, language classes such as French and German for free. Salary, of course, we need to talk about salary. So salaries in Portugal can vary widely depending on the factors such as the industry, your location, your level of expertise, and your specific job role. So Portugal in general is considered to have a lower cost of living compared to so many Western European countries, which can influence as well how salaries are perceived. So the minimum wage in Portugal at the moment is around 760 euros if I'm not mistaken, but please do correct me if this information is wrong. However, please understand that salaries can differ significantly between industries and job roles. Professions in high demand sectors like IT, engineering, healthcare, finance, among all others, may offer a more competitive salary. Also, aside from the base salary, consider as well the other perks and benefits that the company may offer. So in Portugal, most companies offer meal allowances, healthcare insurance, some offer retirement plans. You have the paid time off, the bonuses, and some other perks depending on the company regulations, of course. Also, when it comes to salary, we need to keep in mind that the personal perceptions of what constitutes a good salary can vary depending or based on your personal circumstances and expectations. So also very important, when you receive that job, my advice is for you to look into the taxation system in Portugal. It is way different than the Philippines, of course. Portugal has its own taxation system, and just like any other countries, you need to pay tax and you need to pay your social security contribution. So this will greatly affect your net pay. You don't need to understand the technicalities, right? Maybe just really understand the basics on how you are being deducted, how or in which percentage do you belong, because they have all these brackets and stuff like that. And guys, before we end this video, I wanted to share some things to consider based on my experience when applying for a job here in Portugal, especially if you're a Filipina who just arrived here and looking for a job. The first thing that you need to do, and this is something that you need to prioritize, is your legal requirements to be able to work in Portugal. So in my case, I got married to a Portuguese. So from the Philippines, I was holding a short-term visa or a visitor visa when I moved to Portugal, and this does not allow me to work in Portugal. So when I arrived here, I applied for my residence card for me to be able to live and work legally in Portugal as a family member of a European Union citizen. Second is the language skills. I know I mentioned that you're not required, or there are job opportunities here that do not require you to speak the Portuguese language, but it is important for you to assess your language skills, especially in Portuguese and English. I know that for Filipinos, speaking English is not an issue, but learn the basic Portuguese, because as what I mentioned before, this will help you or give you more job prospects. At the same time, also learning the basic Portuguese can help or can enhance your overall experience living in the country. And the third one is your cover letter and resume. I feel like this is very important when you are applying for a job here in Portugal, and you will know in the next step why. So Prepare a well-structured cover letter and resume or CV every time you send or apply for a job. Highlight your skills, qualifications, and also the relevant work experiences. For me, I changed my resume from the Philippines using this online platform. So they have my husband was the one who shared this to me. So you can create your resume using this. I will also paste the link in the description below, but I use this to restructure my resume. It has a template. You just need to fill in the information and it will give you a really well structured resume. And the fourth one, it's the job search platforms. Personally, I think this is very important, especially if you are new here in Portugal, you don't have networks. So how do you apply for a job? Where do you apply for a job in Portugal? So these are some popular online job platforms in Portugal. I will also put their links in my description box below if you're interested. In my case, I applied through LinkedIn. That's why I mentioned earlier that it is very important for you to have a well-structured resume highlighting your work experience and qualifications, because when applying through online job platforms, they will only look at your resume and based it there if they will call you or not. So that's very important. Also, you can apply directly. There are some companies, if you know some companies in Portugal and you want to apply to them directly, you can also do that. There are some cases where you are also referred by some friends who are already working, and this is good if you already built your network in Portugal. And the fifth one is networking. It's really difficult to move to another country. It's not easy, so it is important to have a Filipino community with you, or just have some circle of Filipino friends. You don't need a lot of friends, but at least someone that, you know, could sympathize with you and stuff like that. It will really help, believe me. And also when you're looking for a job, because one friend can know other people. So that's why for me, networking is very important, because they could help you as well and introduce you to some people or their companies, refer you to their companies that they're already working for. And the last one is patience and persistence. Emotionally speaking, I feel like this is very important, because moving to a different country is already a challenge, right? You try to immerse yourself to this new environment, so you try to understand the culture, the language. You're dealing with a lot of things, and this can be very overwhelming. So it is important for you to understand that finding a job can take some time. So always remind yourself that it is okay if you fail in the first job application. Don't be discouraged. I always believe that there's a timing for everything. So, and also don't be afraid to ask for help. So be persistent when searching for jobs and ask help. So in my case, when I was called for interview, I asked my husband to do like an interview practice with me, because he's been working here in Portugal. He kind of have the idea on what are the possible questions that the interviewers will ask you. So we did this kind of activity. So don't be afraid to ask for help. So there you have it, guys. I hope that you learned something from this video, or at least hopefully the video gives you an idea on how it is when looking for a job or working here in Portugal. You can always reach, if you're new here in Portugal, you can always reach me out. I will try to help as much as I can. I will put my social in the description below and where you can contact me. So thank you so much for dropping by to our channel. Until our next video, ciao everybody!